Hello, welcome to the show. This is Cosmic Connection with Chosen, Miss Beautiful Beloved Swanee, and special guest Maximus. Today is going to be a unique show. It's going to be titled Angelic Intervention, but we just go let you figure out what you want to think it is. So, and I say this as a joke. The story might be like dog shit. It might be a little all over the place in some situations, but we go give it a shot. All right, our first story, we go back to when I sold shoes at a Dillard store. I'm not saying what Dillard store it is. Um, and this one we might jump back and forth, but I'll consider it angelic intervention, higher self intervention, ascended master intervention. Um, so we just would go ahead. So we could just go lay the basics of it. Um, and we might go here and there as to how I figured out who this person was. So the story is I'm selling shoes at Dillard's. It's around the same time, within the same time that Saint Germain came visit me. If you listen to my last podcast, it was in the same general time that this occurred. I think it was after. Yeah, I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks after. Um, so I'm in there selling shoes, and I'm starting to not directly think this, but now that I'm a little bit more spiritually mature, um, at the moment when I was selling shoes, this was back in 2021, 2020, somewhere around there. Um, what I can conclude now is uh, I was under, at the moment back then in 2021, um, I was under heavy spiritual attack. Um, Now this can help you out. We're not going to start off the subject, but we could teach you a little something. Like I said in my first podcast or second one, I believe, I'm not going to speak about darkness unless I could teach you something from it. So um, basically, when it was going on, I noticed while I was at work, I just noticed these energies like uh, like I had this energy to do something, but it wasn't like a normal energy to do something. It was like I had to I felt like I could punch a wall. Like I just felt this energy in me. So I mean, going through this at the moment, um, and now that I've years later, as I'm doing this podcast, I've learned that it was spiritual attack, but I didn't know what it was then. At the moment, so I was doing push-ups, sit-ups, squats at work, um, getting a big dopamine hit, endorphins. But I just want to cover that. This was in the moment. I was feeling these energies. Now that some time has passed, I've realized it was spiritual attack. So let's get back. I'm over here at Dillard's and I'm selling shoes. I think it was after lunch. It was like 3. We closed the shoe department at 8 and it was like about 4 o'clock. Okay. So this gentleman walks into my shoe department and he caught my attention because he was just so perfect. Like his skin was the most perfect tone. His hair was so perfect. He just most gentlest, kindest energy. And he walked around for a little bit and he looked at me here and there. It's amazing energy coming from him. And mind you, when this gentleman walked into the shoe department, these feelings I was feeling, they they just kind of went away. It's like this. He felt angelic now that I, I I went through it. He felt angelic. Um, so he comes in the shoe department. He looked at a couple shoes, and just like Saint Germain, he came to the counter. He got him a pair of socks and a belt. And he just looked at me in this certain way, and he grabbed his stuff and he set it on a chair to the left of me, and to the left of me was a door. And he sat there a little bit, and he stood up and he looked at me with these eyes, and then he just stood there, and I watched him, and it's like he put his hands to his side and he poked his chest out and he looked straight ahead, like with determination. And I'm looking at this guy like, what is he doing? He looked like he was in the military, very well put together, not too big, not too small, and pretty good shape. Like he did a lot of calisthenics. Very perfect, skin perfect tone, everything, hair perfect. His hair was down to about his shoulders, like Jesus. Imagine that. And he just stood there with his chest poked out, like it. Now that I realize it, it's like he was like if something was coming in that shoe department, he was putting his chest out, like, not today, motherfucker, not today. Um, and I had that experience and everything, and I might, oh, um, I might get a little emotional when I tell you how I put all this together of who he was. So this was way after the fact, and a person that's gonna listen to this, I might have said her name already. She goes by a certain name. Um, this was recently how I put who that was, and then use a situation or a couple situations to tell you how I put together who that was. So this is 2023, 2024. I moved out of the state I was living in, to the state next door. Uh, at the moment, this was like 23, 2024. And I want to tell you, excuse me if I get emotional. And there's gonna be a person listening to this that I've been talking to, connected with, that I've kind of shared pieces of this, but they've never heard this end of it, of how I put all this together, about what I'm discovering about me and this person. Um, so um, the dream was, it was a dream. The dream was I was on top like of a building that was like, I guess you could say, like, it felt like if I was on top of a building, let's say I was on top of the Pentagon. It just felt like that. It felt like a federal building, like a government building. I don't know if that had any symbology in it or not, but it felt like a government building. And a person that a person, a person I was friends with, and at the moment in time, I didn't realize that I put it all together after, but I didn't realize he passed away. Okay, I'm just thinking, in this dream I had in 2023, that it was just a representation of a spirit guide, and they were using him as a familiar face, because if a spirit guide or angel wants to contact you, they're going to come to you as a child, or a form that would bring no sense of fear or anything, something you would see and you would just be comfortable with it. Okay, so I'm on top of this building, um, and the person that I'm telling you about, we'll call him Mr. Chris. Mr. Chris was standing in front of me, and he looked at me and he nodded his head. And when he nodded his head, this this big, I mean, I'm not saying big like fat, but this woman, I mean, beautiful woman, she well built. This woman came out of nowhere, like, and was looking at me, and this woman I'm talking about is a woman I'm connected to right now. And I think she's gonna hear this, and I think she needs to know this. But in this dream, either it's a premonition or an experience that I've had already with this person. Um, in this experience, this woman came to me, and she was in all white, and her hair was like very well put together. She was well put together, mind you. She was very, let's say, she was like the build of a basketball player, but thick. Um, and her eyes were like the biggest blue. I mean, now that I think about it, it's like this woman was integrated with AI, but in balance, not completely AI, but like maybe infused with AI. Um, and she's walking to me like she's giving me this message. And then out of nowhere comes a man that resembled the guy that came to the shoot apartment, which I just described, with the same blue eyes, bigger, walking to me like he was infused with AI also, and walked to me and like was looking at me. And I'm I'm saying to myself, I'm like, who the fuck are these people? And it dawned on me, like it was like it hit my consciousness. I'm like, this dude resembles the guy that I seen in the shoot apartment. Like in the dream, I'm like putting it together. I'm like, who is this person? Who is this person? And my buddy Chris, when he nodded to me, he's like, that's you. And it didn't hit me when he said that was me. I'm like, why would I infuse myself with AI? You know, um, and the story is gonna be a little all over the place, but we'll get it across. I'm thinking to myself when this was happening, why would I infuse myself with AI? And who is this woman that represents a woman I dated a while back? And the person listening to this, that this woman is, um, she doesn't know this aspect of it, I think she's gonna hear it. So the woman's in front of me, the guy's in front of me, which was me, which was like infused with AI. You could tell by the way he was walking, his eyes. It was me, and me in my dreams. I'm playful. And I'm like, who is this dude? Like, what do you want with me? I didn't mean it. I wasn't trying to be rude, so I just picked him up and threw him off the building. Well, what do you know? This motherfucker levitates up and walks to me again, and he's looking at me. It's like, dude, I am you. Like he's telling me, I am you. And then in the dream, that part of the dream faded away, and then this woman, which is the person I'm connected to right now, and she's listening. I know she is. She knows who she is. It's like she. It's like in the dream. It was the situation was I was on this road, and uh, like there was this path, and this woman is in front of me, just looking at me like looking at me like, don't you remember who I am? You know, like if you don't remember who I am, you go find out who I am. And in this present moment, it's 2025. I'm not giving no dates. These are timeless podcasts, pre-recorded. We're gonna be doing live ones pretty soon when me and Swanee are live in the studio, which will be coming this year, 2025. So this woman was all white, very well built, like a basketball player, and very, I mean, beautiful, very beautiful, but big, like well built. And her eyes were just like the most bluest fucking blue I've ever seen. Like it was like a LED bright blue. Maybe it wasn't LED, but I had a feeling that it was like a LED light. Um, then that part shifted, like she was trying to place a memory in my head. Then that moves out the way, and then it's another situation. I'm sitting here, I'm standing in this field, and to the left of me is the woman, which was the person I'm connected to. I'm realizing now, and me, but her eyes were not glowing; they were regular. Um, and there was Corey Good with the Secret Space Program. I don't know if you've ever heard the SSP stories with Corey Good. It used to be on Gaia TV, Cosmic Disclosure. It was like the best episodes ever on Gaia TV. Corey Good, the original person of Cosmic Disclosure, not Emery Smith. I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. Corey Good, Emery Smith. If you hear this, no offense to you, brothers. Just telling it from my own personal opinion, personal perspective. Okay, clarity. Anyway, so there's Corey Good with me to the right of Corey Good, with the girl I'm connected to the left, but our eyes are not lit. And Corey Good's talking to me, which I've realized the guy in the shoe department was my higher self coming to me in the present moment. And he stuck his chest out to protect me in 2021 from a spiritual attack. I put all that together. And then I put it all together by um, intuitively. But then when this robot, half AI, half human, came visit me, I kind of put it all together intuitively that this is me. This is the higher version of me. And then either that was a premonition of what's about to happen in my life, which I'm kind of feeling, or it was an experience that happened already. But I'm kind of feeling that this is to come. So it's me, the one I'm connected to, and it's Corey Good in the middle, and like Corey Good's talking to us, but I'm standing on the outside looking at them, and I'm like, wow, man. I'm like, at the time, in the moment of then, before I put it all together, I'm thinking like, wow, man, Corey Good's talking to two advanced beings, not realizing it was me. Um, so the other way is, I put it that this person was my higher self. Was I had a dream? It was at an old place where I used to live at, and the person that resembled the guy from the shoe department, which I described previously, um, approached me with some contracts, like, I guess it's soul contracts or something. Um, which I'm realizing it was, and it has to do with someone I'm connected to. Um, I think they should know all this story. They kind of said the other day on their show, that we need to come forward and tell stories about some wicked shit that's happened to us, and this is one of them. So there you go. Um, the next one is inspired by you. You know who you are. You know who you are. You know who you are if you're listening. The next one is, um, this was in 2011. I was I was going through a spiritual experience. Um, I woke up in 20. Well, really, I woke up. This could be a little longer story. So let's get to the root of it. Okay, this is gonna be deep. Um, so it's 2003. I live at these apartments. I'm a maintenance man over there, and um, this one night in particular, I think I was drinking beer. I might have smoked some marijuana. I don't know what I was doing, but I got emotional. I remember I got emotional, and um, on my apartment, the I've told this story to the person I'm connected to already, so I'm gonna redo it and just tell the longer version of it. So I'm in my apartment. I'm off work. The back patio's open. It's facing towards the beach. I live 2 miles from the beach, and I can see the casinos along the beach. Um, and I'm looking basically over the Gulf of Mexico. And I got emotional for some reason. And my grandfather came to my mind. He passed away in '98. My grandfather came to my mind, so I cried about that. I just got real emotional, and so I got on my patio, and I was still crying. I drank my beer, and I looked over the Gulf of Mexico. And at this time, I mean, I've had stories. You know, my friend's dad worked at Area 51, which is a whole nother group of stories on a podcast I'll tell. But this is 2003. I'm off work. I drink beer. I got emotional thinking about my grandfather and everything. And off my patio. It's like a spring. It's not too hot, not too cold. I got the door open. I live on the second floor. So I'm looking over the Gulf of Mexico, and like for some reason, like I'm looking out over the Gulf of Mexico, and like my consciousness was like drawn to the sky over the Gulf of Mexico, and I realized it was a fucking UFO. I'm like, holy shit. Like, you know, really, I was like zoomed in, like it was like linked up in my consciousness or something. And I was zoomed in, locked into it, and then it was like it almost didn't happen. Which I'm realizing in 2003, well, since I've been a child, just to throw this in there, I've been monitored by the Men in Black. Okay. Joseph Spencer, his name was. Rest in peace. He's now one of my guardian angels. I thought I should throw that in there. Men in Black are real. They're not all bad, um, and they exist and they do similar things as the Men in Black, the movie. Just throw that in there. So I seen this UFO. I linked up with it. It's like my memory was wiped back in 2003. It's like my memory was wiped. Not really wiped, but like they wanted me to see it, but then not freak out over it. And it's like I kind of let it go in a moment. And I went to bed. And now when I went to bed, the dreams I had that night were fucking mind blowing. In the dream, I was in the apartment community I lived in, and I was on the patio balcony on the second floor of a girl I dated named Kelly. But she wasn't there. That was just the scenery that they gave me this situation on. And in front of me was a being that you'd consider a gray, but I didn't feel any negativity from him. Like I didn't feel threatened or anything. It was just what I could see. It was a gray, a tall, like 7 foot tall gray. And I'm thinking to myself, like, who is this person? And then in the dream, this person, whoever this entity was, which I'll explain to you either in this podcast a little bit or other podcasts explaining deeper of who this person was. So this entity looked me in the eyes, and what I'm realizing now, it hit me. What he did to me is what I consider now is it was a download, and all these pictures and emotions and feelings, and it was like going through my consciousness like a fucking slot machine, like fast. Like it was like I experienced like 15 to 20 years of information. Uh, what I'm realizing now, it was like premonitions or memories to kind of realize that for me to put it together, what's in the here now moment, so I could tell this story. It was a download. Some of it was information, some of it was premonition, some of it was seeing into the future, whatever you want to call it. And then in the dream stopped and I woke up. And when I woke up, I didn't, I wasn't putting it together at the moment. So I go to work and everything, and like it's hitting me like in stages, like the memories of it. So let's fast forward a little bit. It's 2005. I've moved to the state next door, across the state, and a maintenance supervisor of these apartments. And this was when my awakening started. Um, it was like someone guided me to. it was like this video popped up on the YouTube feed. It was about the stock market, about how crooked it was, and about how your social security number is a bond and it's worth millions of dollars. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, really? And then from 2005 through 2011, um, I had experiences happen. We'll go into more detail, but these experiences, someone just had a show. They said the mysteries of me, which I know was about me, and so I'm talking about it. You know who you are. You said to tell these wicked stories, so I'm telling them. Well, not wicked, but far out there, paranormal. So it's 2005. I have this experience, and then from 2005 to 2011, where the story first started, when I wanted to tell you, we jumped back, if you remember. So I'm telling this to get you to understand that from 2005 to 2011, a series of events happened. One in particular that triggered my deeper awakening was my buddy took me to his house, and I'm not going to name the guy's name. That the interview I seen. This the guy I'm talking about. We called him Lurch. He might hear this eventually. We usually would go to the studio and we usually would make movies. So the video he showed me, I'm not gonna say the guy's name, but I'm gonna just tell you. You might have heard the story already. He pulls me in the studio, come to his house, we're drinking beer, and he's like, "Look, man, we're not gonna make music today. We're going to. I want you to see this video." And I'm like, "All right, man. I'll watch the video. I'm drinking beer. I'm relaxed." And in this video, he shows me this guy. He's telling a story on TV, and he's basically saying how he was a private U.S. contractor, and his job was to make underground tunnels underground that were some of the most high-tech tunneling systems that have an underground railroad, like underground cities. Like there's beings and entities and whole secret societies that live underground. And he's telling about how they were making these tunnels with this technology, and he had a security clearance and all this, and they had some Delta Force down there, and they were told to carry a gun. And he says this one day that he was doing this tunneling work, that they bored through this tunnel, and this tunnel hit a hollow cavity, and they realized that the tunnel they were boring ran into another tunnel that they were not even aware of, um, that was there. And when they ran into this tunnel, they were like, well, shit, maybe this is an empty cavern or something. We just go keep on going. So the guy that's giving an interview said that he walked in this tunnel, and this foul odor came to his nose. And basically, this gray alien came out of fucking nowhere and started shooting fucking lasers at him through his hand. So he pulled his 9mm off his hip and he started shooting. And basically, and he was on stage. He showed the evidence. It blew two of his fingers off. And he went back in the tunnel. They called in Delta Force. It got settled. But basically, he learned through this experience that there was beings that already existed underground that had a tunneling system already. And at the moment, he's like, what fucking kind of world do I live in? Like there's already beings down here. Like, who the fuck? And they're aliens and they're shooting lasers out their fucking hand. So here I am, 2009, watching this shit in the studio. My buddy's looking at me like, pretty fucking cool, huh? It triggered something in my consciousness. It's something fucking woke up in me. And that just started a whole plethora of experiences, which is the reason why I'm doing these podcasts. The person listening to this, which I'm connected to, she knows who she is. She's inspired me to do this. She's she's fucking amazing. She's beautiful. She's fucking amazing. I'll keep it at that. Um, so that triggered an awakening in my being, and then I started coming across these videos called Project Camelot, Carrie Cassidy. Um, we could go into that a little deeper, But one story I'm going to tell is I ran across a video with Command Sergeant Major Robert Dean. If you have never heard stories of Command Sergeant Major Robert Dean, I highly recommend you look him up. Go to projectcamelot.com, get a membership. And again, I have no affiliates with these people or these websites. I'm just telling you from my own experience. It's helped me along my journey. Projectcamelot.com. Look up Command Sergeant Major Robert Dean. Listen to his stories. Will totally blow your fucking mind. So between 2009 and 2011, I watched Project Camelot, Robert Dean, a bunch of other videos. Phil Schneider. You can look up Phil Schneider. He has a very good story. I'm not going to tell no stories. I'll let you put it together who Phil Schneider is. I might have told the story already. Hint, hint. So it's 2011. So I got first woken up in 2003 when this alien came visit me and planted all these memories or whatever the fuck they were in my head. Then 2005 was another stage where I learned about the stock market. And then 2009 was the next stage when I watched this dude was boring tunnels and ran into a tunnel that was already there and went in there and they had fucking aliens shooting lasers out their hands. So went to Project Camelot, learned about Robert Dean. Look up Robert Dean, Phil Schneider. Will totally blow your fucking mind. So it's 2011. So I've been on a spiritual path. I guess you could say it started in 2003, kind of planted some seeds. 2005, planted another seed. But in 2009 was when my fucking mind was like, wait, there's more to this damn world than I've been told. I am not fucking, I'm digging deep, okay? So it's 2011. I lived in the southern part of the state. My sister lived in the northern part of the state. It's Louisiana. And she lived right on the 33rd parallel in Louisiana in a town called Benton, which is outside of an Air Force base, okay? So I was living with my parents at the time, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to see your sister. You coming with us?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why not? It'd be good, you know." So we go up there, we drive up there, and I say 33rd parallel, and I want to throw this in there. It's like a vector, a vortex on the globe. So if you live along the 33rd parallel or you visit the 33rd parallel, if your higher space relatives or an extraterrestrial wants to come visit you, they usually do it on the 33rd parallel. So we travel up there to Benton. It's outside of a military base. I'm watching videos again, like I told you, 2009 triggered a big wake up. I'm watching videos, Project Camelot, Dolores Cannon, learning about all kind of stuff. Well, I get on this 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 room like where everybody's talking, and I forgot what I was saying, but I guess what I was saying caught the attention of military intelligence. And the reason why I say this is because the next day, um, the next day after I laid all this heavy information that I've learned on this chat room, it was a chat room. I noticed that there was like vehicles that were following me that had government plates on it. And at the time, I mean, I was awake, but I wasn't as awake as I am now. I wasn't putting everything together. So these military vehicles are following me, and I'm like, bro, really? Like, did I say something wrong? You know, is the truth like a bad thing for you? Um, so I'm in this thrift store, I think, and there just one example. There's this guys in a car, military vehicle. Then there's this woman in there. Obviously, she's fucking in the Air Force. I guess she was military intelligence, dressed in plain clothes. Um, she's just really like giving me this obvious flirting symbols, like she was trying to get me to uh, draw my attention to her or something. I'm gonna go through the story of what she was. Basically, it wasn't a positive group of people in the military. So that happened. I went back to my sister's house, and something told me that afternoon. It's like some higher force seen what happened, knew what I was saying on the internet, and knew that these people were watching me now back in 2011. And this higher force, Pretty fucking cool. Check this out. So I'm at my sister's house, and I go out. Some told me to go outside and look up. So I fucking look up, and there is a fucking UFO disguised as a fucking F-16. I guess to keep me from like not having a shock factor or something. But it wasn't flying. It was just fucking floating. Like it was literally in the fucking air. There was no noise, no nothing. But it was like a shiny, glistening metal. But it looked like an F-16. I'm looking at it like, what the fuck is this? And then I'm like thinking, I'm like, man, whatever, bro. I'm like, maybe they, I wasn't putting it all together. But I put it all together, and this is why I'm telling a story. So that night I go to bed, and I'm sleeping in my nephew's room. He's not there. He's somewhere else. I think he's with his dad. And I'm sleeping in my nephew's room in his bed. And the memory is I'm laying in his bed, and this being that looked just like me, very similar to the part AI, part human, very similar to the guy from the shoe department. But this hasn't happened yet, the first part of the story. So this is leading up to what I'm saying. This being was glowing. It was me. Well put together. No acne scars. Well in shape. Glowing like Jesus Christ. Standing at the foot of the bed, just looking at me with the most abundant of love. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, that's me. But like at the moment, like, how is that me? And I'm laying here in the bed. So I wake up and I'm like, I'm thinking it's an angel or something. Not putting it together that it was a me. And I'm gonna end it off with this, and this is gonna be a future story. This person that came visit me was me. Was the version of me that was an ascended being that still exists at this moment. And you could have one too. People listening, you could have this going on too. So, you know, this just sparks some curiosity. This being was me, an ascended version of me that is a member of the Galactic Federation of Light. And he was coming to visit me because he's seen what was happening. Let me know, hey man, we're fucking here for you, bro. Ain't nobody go fuck with you, you know. So, I'm holding my emotion. I hold my emotion. I'm getting all covered in goosebumps. But these stories, I tell these stories because I want people to hear them, and if they want to come forward and tell some stories that they've experienced, I want them to feel free that they can go online, make a podcast, pre-recorded podcast, put your face on it. When the podcasts start with me and this person I'm connected to, we will probably have a camera in the studio and everything. So I hope these stories helped you out. This has been Cosmic Connection. This is Chosen and Swanee. Thank you, Swanee. Love you, girl. And Maximus, love you too, bro. So this is Cosmic Connection, Chosen, Swanee, and Maximus. You have a blessed day. Stay amazing, stay beautiful. And I'm going to end it with a prayer. I am light, glowing light, radiating light, intensified light. God consumes my being and floods my whole body with light, consuming all darkness and transmuting all into light. This day I am a focus of the central sun. Flowing through me is a crystal river, a living fountain of light that can never be qualified by human thought and feeling. I am an outpost of the divine. Such darkness that has tried to use me is swallowed up by the mighty river of the light in which I am. I am light. I live in light. I am light's fullest dimension. I am light's purest intention. I am light, light, flooding the world everywhere I move, blessing, strengthening, conveying the purpose of the kingdom of heaven. And may the Holy Spirit be with you. May the Holy Spirit touch you in this video. May the Holy Spirit come and flood through you. This is Chosen and Swanee and Maximus. Stay blessed, stay amused, stay amazing, stay beautiful, stay blessed. Thank you so much. and may the light be with you, and the force be with you. And so it is, and so it shall be. And we're out.